Hello and welcome. We, the members of Team 6, Alyssa, Bahar, Katrina, and myself, Gloria, welcome you to our journey to Tofino. First, we would first like to acknowledge that Royal Roads University is located on the traditional lands of the Esquimalt and Songhees ancestors and families. It is with gratitude that we now learn on these lands. Throughout this presentation, we will first introduce the destination of Tofino, outline various tourism management issues, showcase a destination analysis, and then provide recommended solutions. Lastly, our reference list will be provided along with our gratitude for your time spent watching our presentation. Alyssa will begin by introducing the destination of Tofino.
Thank you, Gloria. Tofino is located on the west side of Vancouver Island and was first famous for its logging industry. Since the development of tourism, it now has a lot to offer for domestic and international tourists. Its beautiful nature surroundings, rocky beaches, with glorified surfing spots, encourage visitors to participate in a wide range of activities. These activities include visiting art galleries, scenic tours, wildlife tours, fishing, hiking, or tasting local products. Over the last decades, Tofino has won many prestigious awards and has become an iconic destination for travelers who are looking for serenity and the power of nature. Tofino annually meets over 1 million visitors, and with a population of only 2,000 people, the destination faces various challenges. These challenges include stakeholder relations, sustainability, product cycle, as well as various issues as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Bahar will begin with an explanation of the issue of stakeholder relations.
Thank you, Alyssa. It might raise your interest that Tofino, the sixth largest DMO in British Columbia, was partially selected for this presentation because the community illustrates many challenges facing rural communities where tourism has been introduced into a community previously dependent on resources extraction. In this research conducted in 2018 by Jeffries, it especially singled out Tofino as having shifted from a source-based economy to a tourism-based economy in surf tourism. In some respects, Tofino is increasingly more like a mass tourism destination than a rugged, nature-based destination. Therefore, Tofino tourism growth has reached a critical position in its local satisfaction where many challenges are being felt. While Tofino is focusing its plans and strategies on more sustainable forms of development during the off-season, this misalignment between operators and community goals means that the town is likely to challenge losing its sense of community and it will become a mass-scale resort. The misalignment shows a conflict between business and conservation views in the town itself. DOTS 2012 believes that for the long-term viable management of a destination, it is important to understand stakeholders' views as they can motivate or impede sustainability in organizations. In the case of Tofino, some change level may be acceptable to some local stakeholders, but not acceptable to others related to how tourism benefits Tofino. The community is also challenged by seasonally through tourist crowding and employment fluctuations. Approximately 50 to 80% of tourism revenues are realized in these summer months of July and August. While multiple jobs opportunities exist for workers during peak season, there is a year-round position that requires a reduction in seasonal staff at the end of each peak season. Furthermore, in Tofino and nearby neighborhoods, the interesting cost of living and working in the tourism industry pose a financial and emotional strain on those who cannot cope. However, tourism growth did allow to improved road network to access neighboring areas. Therefore, there have been some benefits experienced. Further challenges will be addressed by Gloria in the following section.
Thank you, Bahar. Tofino's tourism industry is striving to meet the standards of the World Tourism Organization, which defines sustainable tourism development as development that meets the needs of visitors and the destination while conserving and strengthening opportunities for the future. World Tourism Organization, 2001. Tofino's tourism industry is growing rapidly and has become the major economic driver for the West Coast region. Over the last 30 years, employment opportunities in resource-based livelihoods such as fishing and forestry have significantly declined, while 55% of the workforce in Tofino is now employed in seasonal tourism-based livelihoods such as those offered in accommodation, food, and retail industries. District of Tofino, 2019. The significant number of visitor population has resulted in serious economic impacts related to ongoing operations in Tofino's tourism industry. Intervistas, 2019. Community life is negatively impacted as local residents express their anxieties. One such concern is unresolved land issues with First Nations neighbors, as well as continued housing affordability challenges for residents. District of Tofino, 2014. Expansion of Tofino's tourism industry operations have resulted in environmental issues. Tofino's natural environment is the cornerstone of the community and tourism-based economy. The threats faced, such as scarcity of fresh water during hot summers and or high tourism months, beaches being threatened by development, and ocean health, puts actual and perceived health at risk, which is therefore critical to manage. District of Tofino, 2014. Tofino's local infrastructure comprises a collection of well-maintained and up-to-date services that include water, waste management and sewage treatment. Currently, the municipality is in the process of addressing long-term water supply issues that will eventually determine the extension of water lines and wastewater treatment facilities. The Water Conservation Bylaw outlines the restricted uses of potable water to ensure reservoirs are adequately maintained throughout the year. Garbage and recyclable materials are collected on a regular basis to preserve a clean and safe environment. There is a feeling by residents that reducing artificial lighting on public streets and spaces is important to maintaining its mystique and resort appeal. The community is strongly aware of tsunami risks and have taken measures to be prepared for that possible situation. District of Tofino, 2014. The district shall work cooperatively with the appropriate agencies and government bodies to ensure there are sufficient services and resources available, such as sufficient policing and hospital facilities, to meet the needs of the community at all times. Vision Tofino Update 1200, 2013, page 7. This suggests that there are issues pertaining to adequate medical facilities and policing to service the members of the community. Global economic issues could continue to impact tourism and underscores the potential need to create some economic diversification to help stabilize the economy. District of Tofino, 2014. Tofino is striving to meet the needs of its visitors and current host region while seeking to protect and enhance the opportunities available for long-term sustainability and the success of Tofino's tourism industry, albeit challenging. The key to sustainability lies in enhancing the resilience of social ecological systems, not on optimizing isolated components of the system. At the heart of resilience thinking is a very simple notion: things change. And to ignore or resist this change is to increase our vulnerability and forego emerging opportunities. Walker and Salt, 2006, page 9 to 10. Back to you, Bahar.
Thank you, Gloria. Tofino is a very dynamic destination that has made a shift toward tourism 70 years ago. Nowadays, Tofino has exceeded its limit of acceptable use. The concept of destination life cycle was proposed by Butler in 1998, and it's used to explain the development and successive stages a destination goes through over time. What is more important, it gives an overview of ultimate stages of destination saturation and deterioration and helps to catch the moment when future action and changes are required to prevent the destination decline. From the perspective of this model, it can identify the typical course of Tofino destination development from its discovery, future growth, and expansion. Thus assumes that Tofino is already a mature destination. However, it experiences a decline related to limited destination capacity when it comes to infrastructure resources and decline in quality offering when it comes to over-tourism. Uncontrolled increase in tourism flow has already become a challenge. With the growing popularity of Tofino over the recent years, infrastructure has increased significantly within the town and in its surrounding, which caused serious community challenges. To avoid the degradation phase and not to lose its attractiveness or become oversaturated, it needs to refine its offering. The move toward more diversified tourism products in terms of sustainability practices could ensure its long-term viability. The demand in new forms of tourist demand is significant and should be kept in mind considering high competitiveness among destinations. New patterns in tourist behavior shift to more sustainable ways of traveling cause new travel trends such as agritourism, cultural, conference, maritime, gastronomic, nature, and educational tourism. As of now, Tofino is associated with surfing, storm watching, and beautiful nature. Diversification of product offering can be part of a selective tourist approach. An example of successful product diversification to reduce seasonality was introduced by storm watching tours and an opportunity for long-term stays. However, around 50 to 80% of revenues are still made during July and August. Increased volume of tourists in the destination cause public concerns over protection of coastal marine ecosystems and especially sea otter reintroduction. And this community awareness has helped to introduce new offering to the market, sea otter wildlife viewing, and resulted in large benefits for local economics. As already a famous destination, Tofino can be selective in attracting a specific type of consumers and focusing on those tourists that the community would benefit from. It is also looking forward to meeting educational tourists following the Pacific Rim Educational Market Development Strategy or West Coast Ambassador. It may also help to reduce seasonality and harness a similar potential in the off-season. Moreover, it is essential to maintain the image of Tofino, its unique brand. Tofino can be selective in welcoming the tourist and should develop programs to attract the right visitor by offering the right program. Butler suggests that the life cycle of a tourist destination must be planned accordingly so that they will maintain their attractiveness rather than lose of their appeal or become oversaturated and enter into a decline stage. In the case of Tofino, a possible solution for helping tourism growth focused to shifting the district's tourism plans toward a more holistic sustainability orientation. Alisa will now illustrate the consequences of this non-selective approach to meeting the new visitors that travel to Tofino in the light of COVID-19 pandemic in the summer of 2020.
Thank you, Katerina. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought numerous challenges to the attention of Tofino locals and the destination's management team. Prior to COVID-19, Tofino was working alongside community partners to attract tourists who share the community's values of sustainable development, biodiversity conservation, and reconciliation. In the spring of 2020, when the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus caused the nationwide lockdown, many locals had the opportunity to experience what Tofino used to be like prior to it being a thriving tourism destination. And therefore, the question of over-tourism was brought to the forefront of conversations. Solutions must be found regarding how to balance the many benefits of tourism with the need to preserve the environment and a healthy community. Through the explanation of Phase 3 within British Columbia's pandemic response plan, many provincial leaders encourage British Columbians to explore their own backyard. For many residents of British Columbia, this meant visiting the west coast of Vancouver Island. And although the economic importance of tourism is undeniable, it came at a very high cost for locals. Locals found themselves continuously feeling disrespected by visitors through finding smoldering beach fires, disregarded cigarette butts, bags of trash, and even human waste on area beaches. In addition, many tourists arrived without reservations and decided to park their vehicles and camp when they couldn't find accommodations, leading to an unprecedented parking situation alongside the main highway and in beach parking lots. In August of 2020, through a CBC News article, residents of Tofino explained to reporters their perspective on the situation, urging visitors to be respectful and kind during this difficult time. Locals of Tofino explained that there is just absolutely no respect for people living here, nor the environment. Tofino is being treated like a theme park, and the people who live here are being treated like ride operators. Another local stated they are over the visitors, as half of them give 0 Fs about COVID or observing social distancing. The former mayor of Tofino, Josie Osborne, explained that there were hopes of reopening gradually after the nationwide lockdown. However, the number of visitors daily was just as high in the summer of 2020, if not higher than it was in the summer of 2019. She explained that the municipality and the community were just not prepared for this kind of pressure, and unfortunately, therefore saw some really terrible tourist behavior. With the mayor, Josie Osborne, stepping down, there's a lack of leadership within the community of Tofino, and therefore there's also a lack of advocacy for the community and the town itself. With that being said, there is also a lack of overall management within the community, which has resulted in various negative consequences for the destination, which include improper use of tax dollars. Since Tofino is labeled as a resort municipality, the tax dollars are meant to go towards marketing the destination. However, many locals feel as though it must go elsewhere to properly sustain the destination for all those who live and visit. This includes fixing the various infrastructure issues the community is faced with, such as water resources and sewage maintenance. Marketing the destination as effectively as Tofino has been contributed greatly to the issues Tofino faced last summer in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. As it was so adequately put by Indigenous master carver Joe Martin, Mother Nature will provide for our need, but not our greed. This is a very important lesson every tourist should keep in mind when visiting the magical destination that is Tofino, British Columbia. Tofino's welcoming spirit will not continue if tourists of this small and remote community continue to be disrespectful to both the locals and the environment. Constant use of the region's resources has left a footprint on the community, poorly affecting the cultural and physical environments. It is disturbing the ways tourists are willing to leave behind the evidence of their presence while visiting Tofino. Therefore, the concept of over-tourism in Tofino has reached a critical position that has caused local dissatisfaction. However, in contrast, operators' goals are focusing on more tourism-based economy, which has led to a conflict between business and conservation views in the town itself. The regulations and standards established within the destination of Tofino are put in place to protect the environment and ensure a healthy community, so this conflict between business and conservation views can be minimized as much as possible. If the regulations are ignored, though, by visitors of Tofino, there needs to be consequences for the tourists choosing to not follow the rules, not consequences for the locals, and surely not the environment. Over the last 2 years, municipal zoning bylaws managed the number of short-term vacation rentals in the destination. This resulted in a decrease of illegal short-term rentals and increased the potential of long-term stays, which are crucial in developing the destination in a sustainable way. Rather than having a reactive outlook on how to manage the destination of Tofino, there is an opportunity to transform it into a more sustainable destination, ensuring Tofino remains as enchanting as it has always been. Over to you, Bahar.
Thank you, Alisa. Butler in 1980 suggests that the life cycle of a tourist destination must be planned accordingly so that it will maintain its attractiveness rather than lose of its appeal or become oversaturated and enter into a decline stage. Tofino must be careful to ensure the destination does not lose its charm and continues to have a competitive advantage within the international marketplace. There is an opportunity for Tofino to develop and offer educational tourism, geotourism, rural tourism, as well as mindfulness and wellness offerings. Such programs can be a way to attract the specific types of tourists who are responsible and careful about sustainability, a very important component to tourism in Tofino that is of extreme significance to locals. In addition, there is an opportunity to develop neighboring destinations to diversify the product and to ensure the number of tourists wishing to explore this destination are properly supported. These destinations being Ucluelet, Clayoquot Sound Reserve, and Kennedy's Lake Park. There is an opportunity to create a system of transportation links between communities and use the surrounding assets to build tourism offerings on what is presented in each of the neighboring destinations. There is an increasing demand for lifelong learning, the growing desire for experiential place-based learning, and the increasing need for cross-cultural exchange and knowledge sharing, which all align well with the unique and outstanding ecological and cultural learning opportunities all the communities in the Pacific Rim region have to offer, not just Tofino. In conclusion, throughout this morning's presentation, various issues were raised that greatly impact many aspects of the destination that is Tofino. Over the last few months, the community of Tofino has been working with local organizations, businesses, and leaders to identify how to best provide leadership, coordination, and support for the cohesive recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected all sectors of Tofino's community. The most important need, though, is to ensure sustainability is always at the forefront of a destination's decision-making in order to ensure stagnation in the threat of decline in tourism products will be avoided. We appreciate the opportunity to present for you today and thank you for your time. Bye for now.